The house on Wither Street. I had never heard of Wither Street before the letter arrived. A thick yellow envelope with no return address, but my name written in sharp ink, like it had been carved into the paper. Inside was a deed. I had apparently inherited a house I didn't know existed, in a town I had never been to. The letter said, "Go alone. Stay 3 nights. Do not leave until dawn of the fourth day." I thought it was a joke, until I saw the key. It was old, brass, worn smooth at the teeth, heavy enough to feel important. And when I held it, I felt watched. The house stood at the end of Wither Street, a 3-story Victorian, flaking paint and broken shutters. The front yard was overgrown, hiding stone steps that led to a door already half open. Inside, it smelled like dust and ash. The first floor was quiet. The wallpaper was yellowed, curling like parchment. A grandfather clock stood against the wall, frozen at 3:07. Upstairs, one door wouldn't open, a study based on the faded brass plaque. I tried the key. It didn't fit. I peered through the keyhole and saw movement. That night, I heard scratching from the other side. On the second night, I found a narrow staircase hidden behind a wardrobe. It led to a small room lit by a single cracked window. The walls were covered in mirrors, dozens of them, some intact, some shattered. One mirror reflected the entire room, except me. I stepped closer. My reflection lagged, then smiled before I did. I reached out. My hand touched glass, but it felt warm. That night, I dreamed of mirrors closing in around me, and someone whispering from behind them. "Let us in." I woke on the third day to footsteps beneath the floor, but the house had no basement. I followed the sound to a hallway with a warped wooden hatch in the floor. I opened it. Stairs descended into blackness. The air grew colder as I stepped down. The walls were moist. My flashlight flickered. I heard breathing behind me, then whispers. "They don't know you're here." I ran back up, but the hatch was gone. Just floor. When I finally escaped, the hallway behind me had changed, and the house felt smaller, tighter. That night I woke to crying, a child's voice, muffled, from inside the walls. I followed it to the hallway outside the locked study. The door was ajar. I pushed it open. The study was cold, untouched. Dust lay thick on everything, but the journal on the desk was open, written in my handwriting. I hadn't written it. The pages described everything I'd done since I arrived, word for word. The last entry read, "Tonight, he sees the child." I looked up. A pale face stared at me from the crack between bookshelf and wall. I blinked. It was gone. I tried to leave. The door opened to the backyard, then to the attic, then to a hallway with no windows. I screamed. No one heard. At 3:07 a.m., every clock in the house chimed. The house groaned. The mirrors cracked. The journal burst into flames. I fell to my knees. The child stood behind me. He smiled. My smile. He said, "Now it's your turn." He stepped into me. Everything went black. I woke outside the house. Morning sun, birds. The key lay on the ground beside me. So did the envelope. Blank again. Except now it had someone else's name on it. And the words, "Go alone. Stay 3 nights. Do not leave until dawn of the fourth day." Echoes of the attic. It began with an envelope. A single off-white letter tucked into my apartment mailbox with no return address, no stamp, just my name in ink that looked faded by time. Inside, a single sentence, written in precise cursive. "Return to the attic. It remembers you." I hadn't been back to my childhood home in over 20 years. Not since the fire. The house hadn't changed. Its frame still leaned slightly to the left, the shutters clung by rusted hinges, and the lawn, long surrendered to weeds, waved like a field of whispering mouths. I stepped inside. Dust settled like ash. The air was dry but carried the weight of damp memories. The attic door was where it always had been, at the end of the hall behind the bookshelf. I opened it. The stairs creaked like old bones. The attic was darker than I remembered. A single bulb swayed from the ceiling. Boxes sat like tombstones. In the far corner, my old toy chest. I knelt beside it, fingers tracing the lid. The carved initials, mine, were still there. I opened it. Inside, a stuffed rabbit, a wooden soldier, a child's drawing, and a cassette tape, labeled "Do Not Play." I found an old tape recorder in a trunk nearby. I inserted the cassette. The tape hissed, then clicked. A child's voice. My voice. Today I saw the girl again. She was behind the mirror. A pause. She said her name is Annabelle. She wants me to stay. Then laughter. Not mine. Something else. Something older. I don't remember recording that. I don't remember any girl. Yet something about the name chilled me. Behind a pile of broken furniture was the mirror, the tall oval one with the bronze frame. I remembered it, but my reflection wasn't quite right. It was a second slower. The smile didn't match. And behind me, a shape, a small girl, pale and silent. I turned. Nothing there. That night I dreamed of the attic. I was a child again. Annabelle held my hand. She led me to the closet I had always feared, the one Mother kept locked. I could hear her sobbing inside. I woke drenched in sweat. I found the closet in the attic. The door was there, locked, chained, sealed. But I had the key. I didn't know how, but I did. Inside the closet was darkness, cold and a faint smell of burned cloth. The walls were lined with scribbled drawings, a circle drawn in chalk, dolls nailed to the beams. One of them had my name stitched across its chest. In the center of the floor, a child's mattress, black with mold. And on the wall, scratched letters, "She's not gone." I tried to leave. My car wouldn't start. My phone was dead. Even the clocks had stopped. 3:07 a.m. That night the whispering started. From the attic, from the walls, from the tape now playing by itself. "Stay, stay, stay." She appeared again. In the mirror, in my dreams. She cried when I tried to close the door. Then she screamed. I stopped resisting. I stayed in the attic. I slept on the mattress. I played the tape. I whispered back. She told me secrets. About Mother, about why the house burned, about what was inside me. The tape now records on its own. Sometimes I hear myself say things I've never said. I don't remember writing this, but the words are mine. If you found this letter, don't come here. Don't open the attic. Don't listen to the tapes. She's awake now, and she's lonely.